Welcome back, everyone, to Grand Tactician, the Civil War. This is December 1861. I've queued up a fort in Cincinnati. I am tired of the Army of the Ohio being stuck in Cincinnati because we just can't get these Confederate armies to go home. So we're going to build a fort there. We'll probably build one in Louisville as well when I get the chance. And hopefully we can start moving into the South at some point. Grant's down there. And he has already built up some forts in the Nashville area. We're going to go ahead and upgrade our supply depots as we're able to. I have upgraded a lot of the weapons that I have in my various units, but I need to order some more. So let's take a look and see what we have available as far as production goes. Cavalry weapons in particular are in great need. So I've got most of my cavalry units upgraded, but there's still a few that we're waiting on. Burnside carbines seems like we can order. Oh, we already have an order coming. 108 days away for those. We're going to get a ton of those. So everybody's going to be getting armed with Burnside carbines when the time comes. I could use some more rifled muskets. We still have quite a few units that don't have rifled muskets that are stuck with Springfield muskets. So as we're able to, we're going to get those in. But once we get these 50,000 Lawrences and the next batch of 50,000 Springfield rifled muskets, I would say most of my units are going to have rifles at that point. As far as guns go, now I could still use some more of those. Oh, and we also have these 10,000 of these smoothbore Augustin rifled muskets coming. Not entirely sure how a smoothbore is a rifle at the same time, but hey, what do I know? We've completed Industrialization 2 policy, which is going to allow us to invest more in industrialization if we so choose. I'm looking at the available projects, and I don't think there's anything else we want to do at the moment. Send envoys. What will that do? That'll further improve relations with European great powers. That's really not a concern of mine right now. So let's go then to policies. I don't know if we're maxed out on... No, we still have one available policy that we can use. I don't think we need to do anything there. Emancipation would be interesting to do. That'll help with relations to Europe. I don't think we're in any danger of Europe entering on the side of the Confederacy right now. Diplomacy 3 gets us some more weapon import deals. I think I might go there. That's only 22 days to get that one. Time to create a new squadron. It's going to be our Brown Water Navy for the Mississippi River. We're going to need that as we make a move on Vicksburg and of course on New Orleans at some point. So we're going to start that in Cairo, and let's see what kind of ships we have available to us. There's a lot of ships we still don't have available, but it's calling it the Ohio Squadron 2. We're going to call this the Mississippi Squadron, and we're going to put... I wonder if Foot's available, because that's the guy we want in charge of this one, I think. Or Farragut. There's Foot. Historically, he died in 1863. I got to visit his grave in New Haven, Connecticut, right on the campus of Yale University. All right, so let's start with 3 gunboats. Maybe we'll build more than that. We've got plenty of shipyard capacity. 7 it is. 7 gunboats. That's going to take a while to build those, but that's where we'll start. Okay, so reorganization has begun in the West, where I have raised the Army of the Tennessee up to an actual army level, which means we have to bring Grant's headquarters down from Illinois, which was the closest place I could form it. And we've also divided then Grant's army into 2 corps now. The 13th Corps, I'm trying to go with historic corps that were in these regions. And the 13th Corps and the 17th Corps were 2 of the corps that actually served under Grant historically in the West. 13th Corps is going to be under W.H.L. Wallace, and Orlando Wilcox is going to have the 17th Corps, and we're waiting for some of those units to move to their new headquarters. So for the time being, the forces in and around Nashville are actually spread pretty thin. It's mostly W.H.L. Wallace, and I can't even move him to Nashville at the moment because his readiness is just not where it needs to be. So he's got about 17,000 men on hand there. I started moving McClellan with the Army of the Ohio up toward these two armies. The Florida State Militia just took off. Army of Tennessee is still there. We did complete the new fort, Fort Gladden, here outside of Cincinnati, which we are now going to garrison. Let's go ahead and do that. And I think we'll throw 2 brigades of infantry along with a couple of batteries there. And that should do the trick. Looks like Sherman's army, the Army of the Missouri, has run into 2 armies over in the Trans-Mississippi Theater. The Missouri State Guard along with the Army of the West. Going to be pretty even as far as numbers go. He's got slightly more guns than I do, and he's got a lot more cavalry, which actually makes a lot of sense because a lot of those units operating in places like Missouri, eastern Kentucky, there were a lot of mounted units. In fact, almost all of the eastern Kentucky Union units that were raised, the infantry was mounted infantry. You see very few actual Kentucky infantry units. Okay, we are dug in. We've got parapets all around. This is the objective point right here, the Battle of Varela. He's going to be coming in from up this way. I expect he'll come down this road and then come across right there. So he may actually come at me from over here. Not entirely sure why I bent this around that way. I probably should have bent it around this way instead. So we're out of parapet, so we don't even have the ability to build more if I wanted to. Yeah, it's not going to let me do it because I just don't have any more. How about breastworks? Can I do that? Oh, it will let me build breastworks, though. Those you don't need points to be able to do, so I can at least get that going. We'll send the Marine Raider Battalion over to... actually, we don't have to construct those ahead of time, I don't think. So we'll probably have to rethink this. I'm not sure what I was thinking when I did it that way. Okay, I don't know what in the world. Oh, there was a second entrance point back here in the corner. Oh, man. I completely missed the recon on that. I assumed they were coming in from here. There are 2 separate Confederate forces, and one of them came in from that corner, and I got nobody over there. So, big shift have to happen in a hurry. Thankfully, I at least had something in that area. And we can send Brooks over here with the Marine Raider Battalion where I was about to send them somewhere else. First of all, we got to have them hit this battery and knock it out. It's a small battery anyway. But we're going to send Flanders Flock over here to help stabilize the line. Just sent all the guns over that way too. Okay, so there's that. We're just gonna have to hold Brooks right where he is. Dodge will get over here and help out. We'll throw him right out here on the flank, and then we'll pull the Mississippi Loyalists over into the parapets right here. I should have gave them Mississippi rifles. I don't have very many of them, though. Alright, Marine Raiders, with your Springfield muskets, you're going to have to hang on for us while Flanders Flock gets there. You guys need to go a little faster. Double quick, boys. You are on horses, after all. We do need to still hold the line over here in case he comes at me from that side. Alright, fire has begun. Let's dismount Flanders Flock. They have Springfield musketoons. We are going to be outnumbered here for a little bit. Is that George Pickett? Serving in Missouri. Going to get our 24-pounders into position here in a minute. Got to find somewhere where they got some line of sight there. So far, we're doing all right. Just got to keep an eye on these hearts for lost resistance. Almost lost another unit over there. 24-pounders are firing. I just don't want to leave myself too thin over here for when the enemy does arrive on this side. Sherman needs to get to a more central location. I might be able to pull French over here. No, don't go that way, dude. What in the world? Oh, it's because there's a road there. Alright. Don't take the road. Hang on. Oh boy. A lot of casualties happening here. Haven't inflicted nearly as many on them as I would have liked at this point. Once we get the Cairo battalion over here, I think that'll help. I just think that hopefully we can hang on to it. Morgan's got to watch because he's got a unit coming in. Oh, we grabbed that gun. Didn't realize we were firing it. Throw him back, Morgan. Throw him back. Marine Raiders are in bad shape because they're in a difficult spot where they're actually taking flanking fire. They actually really care about that. Just as I was getting ready to do that, threw another unit on. Man, it's getting interesting. Here come the other unit now. I knew they'd be here at some point. Come on, French, get in there. We really are going to have two distinct battles happening at the same time. Casualties are starting to favor me a little more, but it's really going to come down to the two holes. And I think Marine Raiders, yeah, there they go. I had a feeling they position around the objective, around the high ground, because it allows for real short interior lines, kind of like the Union had at Gettysburg. See, now Jull's going to go and put pressure on Sanders' block, and we're going to probably lose them. Double quick Wool. These guys are holding good on the left of this side. Back reins. So let's shift French up now. Try to get some fire in this battery. Oh, we'll get there. Alright, we lost Dodge. I'm not entirely surprised by that. Flanders Flock was pretty overwhelmed there. Good news is Washington Zouaves got into that spot just as they were breaking. So we're still going to be able to hold. French is right here on the flank too. Even though they've only got 1,500 men, we're going to have to get them reinforced. I still think we're in pretty good shape. We've inflicted about 1,000 more casualties on him. Main thing here is let's send out some skirmishers to deal with these guns. Not sure why he's not sending them. It looks like he didn't have to. What's going on here? The formation. Not entirely sure what the formation problem is here. Whoa, whoa, whoa. What's the 87th Indiana doing? Actually, I apologize. It's the Danish brigade. Alright, we're just going to pull him back for now and then reestablish him on the line. I'm really not sure what's going on there. Let's bring the 25th Ohio and put him into Daniel's flank. I think we're doing the job over here. Mississippi Loyalists just threw back the cavalry. Washington Zouaves are going to have to do the same. Let's move them up a little bit. I think things are pretty stable over here now. He's pulling out. He never really engaged on my left. He didn't get a chance because we fought so well on the right. I think this one's pretty much over. Oh yeah, we ended up inflicting a ton of casualties here at the end. What is French doing? I really don't understand what's happening with some of this movement. Let's just halt him all together. They're going to get messed up if we don't do something here. Alright, I'm curious to see the combat report on this one. Oh yeah, by far the Special Operations Division most involved. Specifically, the Mississippi Loyalists inflicted 1,600 casualties on the enemy, all while losing 208 men. That's fantastic. Marine Raider Battalion was taking a lot of the casualties. That's why there wasn't a lot of fire happening on Morgan. What in the world is French doing? There's something about his formation that's off. You can see that when I try to turn him around, it doesn't work quite right. But I think this one's over. There we go. Now we can actually move him the way we want to. Pickett's going to take a bunch of casualties moving in front of these guys. Okay, so we ended up inflicting 2-to-1 casualties. It was pretty even there for a while during the thickest of the fighting, but things started tipping in my direction after that. Nice job by Sherman. We do have some units in that army that are going to definitely need some reinforcements. We don't have a replacement depot in that army at the moment, so I'll probably have to go ahead and create one once we get all the rest of our brigades recruited. So the Confederates have enacted Military Policy 2. That's going to strengthen their military, and we'll probably start to see an increase in their fielded manpower, especially once they probably then eventually go to work on the military draft, which I would expect to happen at some point. Let's go ahead and take a look at our intelligence report. Confederates we knew they were working on Military 2. They just completed that. We'll probably get a new intelligence report here in a couple days. Why don't we wait for that one? Here's our February 1st intelligence report. They are working on Diplomacy 1 now. They completed the Project Trade Warfare. Their relations with Great Britain and France are going nowhere. 700 men have been recruited in 4 brigades. 12 new ships have been started in the construction shipyards. Their morale has gone up 6% in their armies lately. And our intelligence indicates the enemy is mostly defending his land. So there you have that. Taking a look now at where our armies are. The Army of the Missouri, for some reason, is under siege by those 2 armies we just defeated. Not a huge deal there. We're going to wait for the 17th Corps to make its way down to Nashville. I'd like to actually give them orders to take a train or a boat, but it doesn't seem to be happening right now, the option to be able to do that. So I want to get them there and then have them kind of sit tight. I'm having everybody sit tight at the moment because it's winter and I don't want to do a ton of movement until springtime. Andrew Foote's got 9 ships that are being constructed. Let's take a look and see how that's going. They're all about a third of the way done, so it's happening pretty quick. That's not too bad, really. I've moved the Atlantic Blockading Squadron to hit his squadrons outside of Wilmington. We just sank the Rob Roy the first. We'll see if we sink any further ships in that action. I want to get all of my fleets doing something. His Hampton division's up here still somewhere, so let's go confront them if we can. We don't know exactly where they are. Let's take a look at projects. Armored gunboats are available. That's actually timberclads, tinclads. British rifles, nice. The Whitworth rifle, yes please. Let's get that. Hall's carbines are available. I don't know if we'll go there yet. Medium range carbines, I like that idea. Parrott rifles, excellent. Which keeps us from being able to do the rebuild ironclads now, but that's okay. Infrastructure reform. It will allow us to further increase transport capacity. I like that idea. We've got our Lawrence rifles. That's excellent news. Pretty much anybody that's got Springfield muskets right now, I think we're probably ready to go ahead and upgrade them at least to the Lawrences. I'm also curious to see what kind of other cannon we have available. Nothing at the moment, but I think... Oh, now we can order some really interesting things, though. Let's go ahead over to weapons for a second. Those 30-pounder Parrots are really massive and really exciting. $2.5 million to buy 64 of them. Yeah, let's do that. Let's also order some 20-pounder Parrots. These are great, especially for counter battery fire because they're rifled guns. They've got incredible range. Look at a 3,000-yard range. That's nearly 2 miles for the 30-pounder Parrots. Even the 20-pounders have a little over a mile range, and they can fire 2 rounds a minute. 3-inch ordnance is something I'd like to order more of, but I don't actually have the ability to do that. 10-pounder Parrots. Let's get some of them going. We'll order 64 of those as well. And then there's the Whitworth rifle, which we have unlocked. 600-yard range. Only 2 rounds a minute. But that range is amazing. Let's get 10,000 of those. That's going to be kind of a specialized thing. But I'm going to go in and start upgrading everybody that hasn't already been upgraded. You can actually do this kind of at the Army level if you want, or you can just kind of hit upgrade like that and it'll automatically upgrade anybody that doesn't already have one, depending on where you do it. But I think, like, I don't want to do it at the Army level because I don't want to upgrade the replacement depot units. But there, everybody in the Army of the Ohio is upgraded now. So here, we'll upgrade them to the Lawrences, Victorian mounted rifles. We still don't have any new cavalry weapons, so nothing we can do for them, but eventually we will. Results of the Battle of Wilmington. We actually lost one ship sunk, and we sank one ship also. I believe, though, that that's still a victory for us, so that's good. The home squadron is kind of looking for the Hampton Division. We don't know where he is. He's obviously not where we thought he was, though. So we'll go ahead and return them here to blockade duty. Atlantic Blockading Squadron still sitting here. I'd like to try and hit these guys again if I can. I really want to take this Confederate threat out completely if possible. So we'll move in on them again. There it is, glorious victory at Wilmington. One ship sank. Sunk. And then we're just gonna park right here outside of Wilmington. I do want to get another squadron going to go park outside of Fort Sumter there in Charleston Harbor. And we are blockading New Orleans. You can see the smoke there, and that's coming from the effect of what's happening with this blockade down here. All right, we're going to place a order for Enfield rifled muskets. It's going to take 61 days to get 25,000 of those in. We are still not quite there as far as having enough weapons for everybody. So that'll happen, though, with 50,000 more. Springfield's on the way. We've also got 10,000 Whitworth rifles on the way in 44 days. I think we'll probably go ahead and place another order for 25,000 more Lawrences. That'll take a while for that to happen. How about repeating rifles? We do have the Colts available to us. Let's order, I don't know, 5,000 of those. Rifled carbines, Enfield musketoon. Order 5,000 of those. Guess we're gotta select everything separately. Machine gun, no, we don't have those yet. Siege artillery we don't have. Rifled guns we do, and we already have some of those on the way. We could order some more 14-pounder Jameses. Let's just get 16 of those. So one thing that doesn't get talked about a whole lot in the American Civil War is the fact that the Navy did occasionally do things on their own. New Orleans basically fell to the Navy alone. They were able to get past Fort St. Philip and Fort Jackson down guarding the Mississippi and take that. And so the perk one of the perks that's available here is an amphibious attack, which allows this particular squadron to take and hold forts. So that's the Lower Bay Squadron, which is based in Annapolis. And we're going to actually go ahead and send them down here to see if we can't take Fort Norfolk from the Confederates. All right, let's see how this works out. We're into February of 1862 now. We also have a fight. All right, Army of the Ohio going up against, once again, their old adversaries, the Army of Tennessee and the Florida State Militia. We're still dealing with that one pesky Confederate army that just does not, or two armies that just don't want to go south. This is actually right up on the Ohio-Indiana border. Okay, he holds the objectives, Battle of Centerville, Indiana. So we're going to be on the attack here. We are able to get across here, so it looks pretty straightforward. We're going to be attacking at Nichols' stone wall. He's going to have a natural defensive position there. So we'll probably just kind of come across this open ground and just hit him. Ready to see the debut of the Thoroughbred Division, which is now available and ready to fight. Louisville Legion, Kentucky Colonels, the Bourbon Boys, and the Derby City Bombards. Next to them, we've got the 3rd Division under Joseph Mansfield, which has the Buckeye Guards, Gruber's Guards, and Sheridan's Scrappers. Then we've got the Irish Devils and the Lincoln Loyalists over here in Haskins' brigade. brigades and Buell's Green Beret division over here on the right. We're just going to kind of move pretty straightforward as best we can as one, and we'll see how it goes. All right, looks like he's dug in between the two objectives. He's going to pretty much let me have the first one, but he's got some units over here. He's dug in pretty solid. This is going to be a tough fight for us. So I'm going to move everybody up to about this point here. We're going to get our guns in here and see if we can't get them into range to do something. Looks like we need to move them a little bit further ahead. I'd like to at least try and deal with some of his artillery before I do anything else, if I'm able to do that. I don't know what kind of guns I've got here. I've got 24-pounder howitzers. So we don't have much in the way of rifle. Yeah, these are all 24-pounder howitzers. We've got to diversify these artillery pieces some. There are some 10-pounder Parrots, only 8 of them though. But let's get them immediately on counter battery fire. Find a spot for them to do that. So he's really lighting up Crittenden. He's already wounded Crittenden, and we've already lost 16 men in that unit. So he's obviously really trying hard to hit me there. That's the SF Haymakers. They've lost 28 now. We got to be really careful with them. But I'm going to move up these 24-pounders and get them into position to start doing some damage. I'm trying to neutralize his guns the best I can. Let's see if we're having any impact on that. We've lost 1 gun. He hasn't lost any. He's got 100 guns. We've got the manpower numbers, though. So we're going to have to advance quickly. We can't sit around and just let him tear into us like this. Oh, he's going to move. Interesting. All right, we've got to get up against this fence then, as quick as we can. It's actually going to make my job a lot easier because now my 24-pounders can do some damage. All right, let's send some skirmishers out. This is kind of a diversionary attack, but unfortunately it means Buell's Green Berets are going to take a lot of casualties just sitting here holding him in position while we hopefully can take out his right flank. That's kind of the goal here. So the fight's going to be at the Nichols Stone Wall. Kentucky Colonel's getting their first taste of action. So this whole division's first action. Make a little change to the settings here. It's taken forever to zoom in and out on the battlefield map. I think there's a way you can deal with that. I don't know why the models in battle changed. There we go. That'll make this work a little better. There it is, much better. Need wood to get up to the fence, though. Let's bring up the cav right there. Yeah, unfortunately, I'm worried about Clinton. I'm going to pull those guns back. Up to that spot. Alright, Gerard, you can't do this by yourself. I'm trying to get you some help up here. Second cav. We're going to get in on the action. He was trying to get around the flank over here. He's a little realistic to get up to that fence. The stone wall. actually, that's really, really helpful because it gives me a chance to redeploy a little bit. Oh, man, they're not going to let me redeploy? Oh, because he's got men out here. That's crazy. All right, that's all right. Let's pull these guys back. Let's bring the first cav up right here. Let's put Mansfield on the wall. Who's this here? That's our unit we had in reserve. I'm going to shift the cav over. Bring the reserve up on the line. And I'm actually going to pull Buell back. Let's see how that works. Oh, he pulled everybody back too. Ah, darn him. Interesting, though, that now he's going to advance out of his fortifications on the right. All right, long range, and then we'll send skirmishers out. I'm going to pull Haskin over here into reserve, and then the idea will be eventually to probably pull him up on the right side there. Let's pull Elliott back with the Buckeye Guards. All right, our skirmishers are engaging over here on the right as he advances forward. I've got all of my guns on counter battery fire now because that's what he was doing. And he had just been lighting up my artillery batteries. It seems like that's the AI's strategy in these battles with his artillery, is counter battery fire first. So he does everything he can to neutralize my batteries before he even goes after my infantry. So we're trying to counter that. I had lost 20 guns before I started my own counter battery fire. So now we're trying to catch up. We've taken out 5 of his so far. I'm doing the same over here now with this unit. But I don't know if we actually have sight of them or not. Haskin's getting into position. That's the Lincoln Loyalists and the Irish Devils over on the right. This is all about artillery right now, though. Casualties are pretty even. Now we've taken out 10 of his guns, so we are making a difference there. As soon as these guys get into position, we'll send out skirmishers there too. Seems to be working. We've lost 24 now, but we've taken out 10 of his. Yeah, we're about to... That unit just broke. I was afraid of that. Now he's going to focus everything on the second battery. Alright, let's send forth the skirmishers from these 2 units. All be about skirmishers for a little while here. Actually, Brown just pulled his back in. Make sure we have long range going on. Who was wounded? Tower, second battery commander. So now we're going to start taking a lot of casualties with the second battery. Alright, he's coming in, so we're going to actually go to fire at will because I want to be able to put fire on the attacking troops best I can. Alright, let's see how this goes. I'm moving the skirmishers a little more into position as best I can. Enemy casualties are starting to rack up now. Holding him in this spot over here. Move the second cab up, see if we can get out this attack. There goes our second battery. Overall, though, things are going well in terms of the actual fighting, just not with the artillery. Ewen's going to pull back his skirmishers. He's got rifled muskets. There they are. Okay. Perfect. Get some volleys on these guys. Bring the Lincoln Loyalists up and push them so we can concentrate our fire in this area here in the center. Let's mount up the second cav. I'm going to rise right up to that battery if I can. Hit them. Some melee fire. Or with, yeah, melee. Give me the cold steel, boys. I think our superior firepower is going to make the difference over here. Where's it looking good? Let's call in the skirmishers. As long as the 5th holds, and they seem to be doing just that, we're gonna be fine. These guys still have Springfield muskets. Alright. They're not going to be in range. Some skirmishers back out. And move Revere up right behind his skirmishers because he's sending some cav out over here. Alright, that did the trick. Dealing with that battery. Now what we can do here is go hit this other gun. Grab his other artillery. We'll bring the Berlin boys up into this gap and actually see if we can get in on his flank over here. The boys of the 3rd are holding, the boys of the 5th are holding. We lost 500 men. 7th is up. It's all about the Green Berets right now. They've lost 1,000 men, but they're doing well. Jull's got his boys doing their thing. Now the second cav is going in behind. And they're going to threaten this artillery. They're going to dismount so we can get in and cover here. Nice job, boys. I'm really not sure why he came out of his fortifications. He should have let me attack. There was really no reason for him to do that. He's pulling out. Alright, once everybody pulls out, I want to see. Obviously, it's going to be Buell's division that did the heavy lifting in this one. But I want to see some specific numbers. Alright, let's take a look. So he ended up with about 6,000 casualties. That's about 20%. We did lose a lot of our guns, 46 of them. That counter battery fire was just brutal. We're really going to have to do better with our guns. But let's look at the combat report. And obviously we're looking at Green Berets, 4,000 inflicted casualties. That's 4 times more, almost 5 times more than anybody else. The 5th and the 3rd, who were right at the center from the beginning, but the 7th as well. Great job. Victory at Centerville. Will he, at long last, get out of the north and head back to the south where he belongs? Somehow I doubt it. Let's take a look at the aftermath as far as where our batteries are at. So they've still got 8 guns. They've got 10, but they need a new commander. SF Haymakers have 8 guns, and they need a new commander. Schuyler Hamilton, grandson of Alexander Hamilton. Let's throw him in there. We're going to look and see if we've got any units that we can upgrade their weapons. Because I know there were a few that didn't have what they need still. Actually, let's start here by using some of our... This is how I do this, is I drag from the replacement depot into the units that have lost men. And keep them kind of topped off, basically. And I think we've got enough to wipe out Sturgis once we fill in everybody here. Yep, so we're going to actually delete that unit now. We do have another brigade of replacements coming. And I think we're going to have to add some replacement batteries too, that we can use to refill these guys. And let's replace Zealous Tower. Oh man, Charles Hamilton's got some mad stats. We might have to throw him in somewhere higher. We now have armored gunboats, so we're going to add some tin-clad gunboats to our Mississippi squadron that we are building. Let's go ahead and add 3 to that. I'm also going to add some to the Ohio squadron. Those brown water fleets, as we call them. Where is the Mississippi squadron? It's setting up in Cairo. It doesn't have anything yet, though. We're waiting for those ships to get built. Still waiting for the 17th Corps to arrive in Nashville. It's been a long haul getting them down there. Watching what's happening with the lower base squadron as we attempt to take out the Fort Norfolk garrison. And we are watching his numbers decline. He's down to just 39 men, 36. So it's happening. It'll be interesting to see what happens if and when we're actually able to take that fort. What happened here? Unit disintegrates. What unit disintegrated? My lower base squadron disintegrated? What? I wasn't expecting that. I thought we'd be able to take out a fort a little easier than that. I guess we're going to have to get a little more firepower in that thing. The Confederates got Diplomacy 1. Be curious to see what they work on next. Hall's carbines are available. Not much else at the moment. Railroad construction. Suppress population. Reduce enemy support in conquered states and territories. I don't think I'm too worried about that right now. Alright, we're going to go ahead and start moving the Army of the Hudson under Winfield Scott to go take Wheeling, West Virginia. Start solidifying our hold on West Virginia. Looks like we did finally drive the Confederates back into Tennessee. Or not Tennessee, Kentucky. French invasion in Mexico. Nothing for us to really worry about. We're going to let McClellan get his readiness back up before we start moving him into Kentucky. We have our Militia Act 4, which allows us to get 3-year troops. Let's go ahead and see where we want to go next with policies. Legal blockade. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. Start working on our blockade situation a little bit. Alright, so the 17th Corps is finally arriving in Nashville, just in time to hopefully rest and recoup and get ready for the spring campaign season. Grant's got about 55,000 men under his command altogether. The Army of Missouri is once again preparing for siege. They keep coming under siege by these guys. At some point we're going to have to break that and fight. But for now, that's kind of where we're at. I have probably 6 more patron units to recruit, and then they will all be recruited. So I would guess we're going to max out at somewhere around 300,000 men fielded. And remember, Probably 50,000 of those are either replacement depot units who can't fight or garrison units. So we're probably looking at about 250,000 men with which to win this war. That works for now when he's got 160,000, but once he gets the draft, we're going to be facing armies significantly larger than our own. The hope is that we can rapidly replace any losses we suffer, and that we will be at a place where we have superior firepower because of our weapons being better than his and because of our training being better than his. So I'm going to be probably doing a review of all of my commanders from top to bottom as soon as I get those last units recruited, so that we can make sure we have the absolute best of everything. Army of the Potomac is now under the command of John Reynolds, by the way. First Corps still sitting up here with Hooker in the Shenandoah Valley with very little in terms of opposition. So I think now that we're into March, we're going to start moving down the Shenandoah Valley. We'll hold the other 2 corps of the Army right here around Fredericksburg for the time being. I don't see any Confederate opposition, though we know they've got to be there. So we're going to take Wheeling here in just a minute, and then we're going to move the Army of the Hudson down into Charleston as best we can. That's going to probably take them a while to get there. Let's take another look at our projects. Nothing. I really want to get the ironclad monitors, but it's going to take a while of investing in the military to be able to do that. And policies. We are currently working on legal blockade. We're 11 days away. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up this episode. Trying to bring episodes to you a little more frequently. That might mean they're a little shorter, though. But we'll see what happens. Thanks for watching.